So Scott has us being recorded, and I thought I'd first open it to either Brian or Connie if you wanted to say anything before we got started.
No, ma'am. You go ahead and take the floor. Appreciate the committee's hard work. I know y'all got a lot going on with pre-tours and whatnot, so I'm sure we'll hear about that as we go through this. But thank the committee for all their work and looking forward to hearing what you're planning for next year.
Thank you.
Much like Brian, I'm doing the same thing. Just wanted to come on and thank the committee for all the hard work you've done throughout the year. And want to just thank those that are retiring now for their term of service and to welcome those that are incoming into new leadership roles privy to the voting delegates confirmation, right? To look forward to working with you within the next couple of years. So just want to thank you all for your help there. And I'll just be on today helping answer any questions, help with conversation, but letting you all direct it more in the listening realm is what I plan to do. So I'll turn it back to you, Cindy. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, both Connie and Brian. There has been one question. Does the professional development committee or council as a whole, are they having a meeting via Zoom, and do we know the date of that?
Yes, they
Mhm.
are, and I need to get that sent out. I just got that last week, and I have not sent that out on email. But yes, we are.
Okay, okay, then we
It's
look forward to
last.
getting
I
that.
believe it's next week, but toward the end of the week. But I'll get that out to you today.
Okay, great. Okay. Well, if you have come on since I have last requested, we do try to put down everybody who has attended this committee meeting in our record. So please put your name and state in the chat box, and then Jenny is taking our minutes. She will record those names on that form. So before I get started, I would like to thank the committee. So we have Andy on, who is Andy West from the West region. We have Danny Lauderdale from the Southern region, Heather from the North Central, and Jenny from the Northeast. And it's been a pleasure working with all of you. Some of you a few years, some of them been married to 29 years, and then and then Andy, I think it's been 1 year. It has been a great joy to be working with you. And this is my final year that I can serve as the national chair, and it's just been a pleasure to be able to do that. So basically, we would like to talk about what we are looking forward to for 2026. That will be in Denver, Colorado, and what we can do between the Montana AMPIC and the Denver AMPIC, just to make horticulture as strong as possible in all the things that we do through NACAA. Excuse me. So typically, our goals each year are to host at least one, if not two, webinars throughout the year. We also typically plan a horticulture pre-tour at the AMPIC location. We have started for the past few years, and we continue to offer a horticulture trip, and then that helps fund our pre-tour. We also encourage abstracts to be submitted so we can select people for presentations. So that is our typical goals for each year. But is there anything else that some of you are thinking about that maybe we're missing and haven't perhaps done that we should be doing? And this is pretty informal, so you can just open your mic, or if you prefer to um, type something in the chat, you can do that too.
We've been
And,
able to go ahead and offer the super seminar.
oh, yes, yes, that is also a top priority of us to offer a super seminar at our AMPIC. And Connie, thank you. The Professional Improvement Council workshop is May 29th at 10 a.m. So we will be getting that Zoom information, and I'll make sure that I send that out. As you're thinking about if there's some other things that we should be doing that we haven't been doing, I will offer each region chair if they would like to say a few words. So Jenny, I think your mic is open now. So would you just like to tell them how you're serving and how you'll be serving next year?
Sure. So the last 2 years, I've been able to be the Northeast person for the horticulture, and that has been a pleasure because I've been able to go ahead and help out with what's going on the pre-tour. I've been able to help put together some of the pre-tours, and I think the more skin in the game you have, the more fun you have when you actually get there because you know some of these people. And also it's always for me really a pleasure to be able to see people that I've seen on the pre-tours for the past couple of years. It's always good to see everybody.
Okay, Heather, would you like to go?
Sure, thanks, Cindy. Well, I'm just rounding out my first term on the Horticulture and Turfgrass Committee, and it's been such a great experience that I highly recommend it. Of course, maybe I'm spoiled because we have Cindy with all her experience and Danny here kind of leading the charge. So we appreciate that. But it's been great to get to know Ginny and certainly Andy as he's coming on. Our team has worked together through some challenging situations, which is always good, right? As extension professionals, not everything always goes as planned. So we've had to do some teamwork together, but it's a great opportunity, and I'm looking forward to, we're getting ready here to head to Billings and Bozeman in, well, gosh, not a little over a month, I guess it is, not too far shy of that. But if there are things that we can do throughout the year that would benefit you, either regional meetings, if you'd like to just touch base, to have conversations. I know that any of us would probably be glad to do that. We like to engage, we like to be available. And so if there's things that you have that you would prefer for us to do, we are certainly open to that. And I know that it helps us grow. We can do anything that we can to build, but enjoying helping with the planning of the pre-tours and the super seminars. Also working on things, the abstracts and the rubrics. It's good experience, and it's fun to come together and share some common goals. So if there's other things, like I said, that we can do, we'd be glad to do them.
Thank you, Andy.
Oh yeah, I'm the new member on the committee, so I've just about hit my year mark, and so I'm learning what's going on. I've learned a lot about how the pre-tour gets put together and jumped right in and have helped with that, and looking forward to continuing my service and help out in the western part of the United States. And we're already starting to look forward to the pre-tour for Denver already.
We don't let any grass grow under our feet. And Danny?
Yes, so I am in finishing up my first year of my second term as Southern Region Vice Chair, and I think but our Jenny, Heather, and Andy have covered most everything that needs to be covered about what we've done. I will just briefly mention Cindy said that some of the things we've done is hosting some other tours. So through Explorations by Thor and through NACAA. Cindy and I just got back about a week or so ago from Ireland. We had a group of 47 of us who traveled on that trip, and we had excellent weather. We had no rain during our touring times. We had a little bit of rain one evening, so we had great weather for the trip. And that trip, NACA gets some proceeds, and then the host of those tours gets proceeds. So I designated those towards the Horticulture and Turfgrass Committee, and that's helping us fund what we're doing on the pre-tour that starts in Bozeman and ends in Billings here in just a short while. And then just to give a little teaser on next year, Heather and Cindy and I just met with Alex Thor this morning, and we're beginning discussions for next year's trip. And we are looking at two options, either Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands as option one, and option two would be Italy. So that's what we're looking at right now. He's going to get some agendas together for us, some plans, and then we're going to review those and make a decision coming up pretty quickly within the next few weeks. And that will again help us fund the pre-tour coming up next year in the Denver, Colorado area prior to the AMPIC.
And then I'm not sure, but do we have someone who, Jenny is moving up to the national chair. Do we have the person here that is coming in as the Northeast horticulture chair?
She's not able to come today. I'm
Okay.
sorry, she's
Okay.
traveling. But she's
Okay.
excited to be a
Okay,
part of it.
great. Okay. So moving on, I guess, anything that we would want to include at our next AMPIC? We said that we would be, kind of those goals already, but is there anything else that anyone thinks that this year for our webinars, we kept them more NACAA related, how to write a horticulture abstract and why to attend the pre-tour. So, very focused on NACAA activities, I guess you would say, versus horticulture education. In the past, we have done some horticulture education through our webinars. So, but I know a lot of states offer their own types of trainings with that. So if you think that there's a topic, especially that might be very relevant, for where we're going in Colorado or something like that, that you would like to see or hear about. I open the floor to hearing those types of suggestions. Like, we've done different things on climate, and I don't know what else we've talked about, but anyway, this year we're focusing on Montana native trees and forestry and things like that. So if you have something specific that either you would like to hear about, like in the super seminar, or see in the Colorado area, this would be an opportunity now to get that on our radar so we can make sure it's included. Don't be shy. Come on, horticulture people. You're killing me. I know that a lot of you like to talk.
Cindy, Shelley just put
Oh, here we
comment
go.
in the chat.
Uh-huh. Okay. Thank you.
I love that topic. We're just wrapping up a 5-year research project on agronomic soils and soil microorganisms. So would love that topic. Very cool.
Have have you ever done anything with like reporting back on some of these trips that you've done? Like for instance, the Ireland trip. Could there be a webinar, like a report back on what you saw, different plants they had, just the horticultural culture of some of these places that you all are going to for us unlucky folks that did not go along?
So I will say that Danny and I both had a scholarship, so we have to write an article for the magazine that NACA puts out as part of getting your scholarship. But I think that's really interesting, and I think that would be a great webinar about, showing the different places and things like that, and that actually the sun can shine in Ireland. Who knew? So we were really excited about that. And then Mike on here, he has hosted one to Ecuador and the Galapagos. So yeah, I think that would be really interesting, like a report back.
Yeah, I think so too, because when you do your scholarship report like Cindy and I did, by the time you basically tell where you went and like one highlight of each place you went, you've hit your 800 word limit. I mean, you can't really get into a
Yeah.
lot of detail.
Yeah, and the pictures are small. It doesn't give it justice. So I like that.
I actually just did a program on Ecuador today for the Institute of Learning and Retirement. 300 slides in 2 hours. So it went well though.
I'm sure knowing you, it was really fun.
Okay, and we're getting a few more in the chat, so I'm putting those in the Google Doc. And I know for like breeding and such, North Carolina does have Tom Rainey, and I'm sure there's people like Tom all across the US who love to talk about what they are developing. And somebody put that they love to have wisteria in Montana. Yeah, what you can come and get all of ours, but in our, we saw it in Ireland and it's not as invasive there. So it is everywhere here. So um
I can see somebody saying, "Oh, let me bring some to Montana just to see if it will live."
yeah, let me I can get you plenty of seeds. No, I would not do that to the Montana folks. Anyway. Okay. Okay. Moving on. Everything is always expensive, and especially a bus, but we do have two great sponsors. We have Bear Crop Science for our horticulture pre-tour, and then we have Bartlett Tree Research Laboratories for our super seminar. But we're always interested in finding out if somebody has a connection with a potential sponsor that would either want to sponsor us on the horticulture committee or maybe NACAA on a more of a national level. So if there's any ideas there or suggestions, we would be happy to take those and forward those.
And I would just say a suggestion on that is, I've talked to a number of companies that I've done work with over the past 8 or 9 years. And the only difficulty I tend to have is, when like the national meetings is not in the state that they're located, they sometimes are a little resistant to participating, or, so like the people on the level that I work with, like the sales folks or even the marketing folks that are in my region, if it's outside of their region, there tends to be they don't have quite as much pull to get somebody from another region to jump on board to do it. That's the only challenge that I have had so far.
I thought you might also mention that lots of times, for these sponsorships, when we've asked, you can't ask in May for a July meeting. You have to ask maybe the July before, depending upon how their budget works.
Yeah.
So
Basically, you
getting
need to be
in on
asking
somebody's
now.
new budget, you have to,
You need to be asking now for 2026, pretty much.
Okay. So as I mentioned before, we get sponsorships from Bear and Bartlett. 2,500 of that goes to our pre-tour, 1,000 of it goes to our super seminar. NACAA provides every committee with $1,000. And then typically our tours, our agricultural tours through Thor, brings in at least $4,000. Danny this year's tour had 50 people in it, so it was double that amount. So we are pretty well set for this year and our pre-tour. For our expenses, we don't offer any awards or meals or things like that at the actual AMPIC. And we don't usually have any type of office or postage or that kind of type of expenses. Most of our expenses is for the pre-tour. So they ask for us to list budget things. So in our report to them. So I put $5,000. The main money is buses and food. So I put 5,000 for buses or vans, meals 4,000. I did not put anything for lodging because usually people pay that extra on their own. And then I put $500 for speakers. So right now our income is $1,000 less than our expenses. So we'll need to work on that to make sure that we at least break even or earn a little bit of money. So is there any recommendations for the horticulture committee and how we could be involved more in the AMPIC besides, I guess, like the super seminars and our presentations? Does anyone have, something that they feel like, I don't know, like there's a certain day or time that there seems to be a lot for livestock or traditional ag crops, but there's not much for horticulture.
Maybe have, since they're doing tabletops, a tabletop with a slideshow of the tour of Ireland. Like, we just went there. This was fabulous. You two can join up next year.
Okay. I've also thought, would there ever be a time, most of the meals are kind of scheduled, but would there ever be a time like we could just say, okay, all the horticulture agents that want to come to this room or this meal, or let's sit together at this, so we could just talk about our master gardeners. No, I'm joking. But about a topic or something like that. Um,
People might sign up for that just to get a meal.
it would be Dutch meal, but you can.
That would work out.
Shelley suggested a horticultural hospitality room, which could be fun. We should focus on using horticultural components, right? Herbs, edible flowers, right? To go with our elixirs.
Right, yeah.
Make it even more fun.
Great idea.
I'll have to start growing edible flowers.
I have a whole publication on it, but love that idea.
It's always good to have an opportunity to see more of the locality that we're in. And I know Mike Andrzejczyk is great at finding breweries. So, maybe we could just have an outing one evening where we go out to a local establishment, Dutch Street, everybody does their own thing just for the hort agents. That might be cool.
Definitely. Yeah, I attended the first timers event in Dallas. Mind you, it was a little warmer outside than I wanted to be, especially if you're indulging in a cocktail. So I did need to go inside and cool off. But I really thought that that was a nice thing for the first timers, and there was a lot of them there and stuff. So that goes right along with kind of like that outing. Or Danny, do you remember when that was? Was that like Sunday before it got started, before the
Yeah, it
first
was
evening dinner?
before the opening dinner.
Dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that might be a good time.
And that involved food as well as beverages. And it was really good. There was a lot of people there who were asking really good questions.
Yeah, because it can be overwhelming, that booklet or just all the different things that are going on at the same time, and how to maximize where you want to be and things like that. Yeah, I think that would be great.
Any chance to connect or network, especially for newer educators, is so important, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can do that in a way that, maybe we have a horticultural table, right? So if you do have master gardeners, or you have horticulture as a primary industry where you work, right, in the county in which you work or the region in which you work, then I think that's a cool opportunity, right? Get to know more of your peers.
Yeah, I'm just kind of smiling to myself because this is being recorded, and I thought like but I am going off of this committee, so I guess it's fine. But I was thinking maybe there could be a therapist at the Master Gardener Committee table.
A plant therapist.
Yeah, right. Okay. Great ideas. Keep them coming. Oh, going to a local park in the evening or something like that. Yeah, yeah, all of that is great.
I know last year we went to, when we were in Texas too, we went to we just took like a side trip on Sunday when we were all there. Couldn't fit everything into the pre-tour, but we just kind of went off and did the farmer's market tour, right? So some different people I think went to a different botanical garden or so if there were things like that, if there are ideas, these things here, like this type of situation that can work out really good.
Yep. Perfect. Okay.
And
So-
I agree that Sunday morning when not much is going on and but it's a great way to go ahead, especially if they do have a nice farmer's market, to wander through, see what's going on. Everybody has a good time.
Okay. We also have been asked if we have any recommendations to give to the NACAA board. They would want that to be pretty specific and presented in the form of a motion if it's something that we would like them to obviously vote on. These might include suggested changes or additions to the current committee duties or responsibilities or any changes in the NACAA policy. So I will say that one thing that the Horticulture Committee did this past year with, I don't think it was really voted on by the board, but we did get board permission, was we did not always feel like the rubric for abstracts met what horticulture agents may do. So Heather spent a lot of time and actually created 2 rubrics for horticulture specifically, either education or research. So we could score those abstracts better, and hopefully that by changing the wording a little bit, giving some guidelines, showing some good abstracts, that we could have the highest quality abstracts presented in Montana and in future years. So that's an example of something that, we have sent to the board, but we are open to anything else. And as you're thinking specifically about board actions, you can also just think of anything that you would like to share with your committee right now. And we can get that down so we can send that to our council chair, who is Brian. So I'll open it up to the group. If you have joined a little bit later and have not put your name in the chat box, go ahead and do that in your state. But I'm going to open it up and let anybody who wants to talk may. And I'll put Katie on the spot, and that can get the talking going. But Katie joined us on the Ireland tour. We both haven't been sleeping the best since we've returned. We've been getting up pretty early. But Katie, would you like to share anything? Or you are a traditional come to the pre-tour, if you wanted to share anything about that. And then after that, I'm not sure if there's anyone else besides the committee members and Katie who are here, but we will open it up for any questions about the pre-tour for this year also.
I would say that it's the relationships you make on the pre-tours. You get education also, and I use stuff, the pictures and all of that from the pre-tours, but it's also about the relationships and the tour of Ireland and the Netherlands last year and all of that. So we got to meet some of Cindy's master gardeners, and we know why she needs counseling now. I did text Cindy to ask her if her master gardeners made it safely back to North Carolina, because we weren't sure if that was going to happen.
Well, or with the 5 additional pieces of luggage she had to
That
buy
exactly.
for her souvenirs. So if she got back, that was great. But what about the 5 extra suitcases?
Yeah. So yes, I think a lot of it is about the relationships, and that I know who to reach out to. So Cindy also was instrumental in writing a letter for my non-tenure track promotion. You know, having those relationships that you can reach out to for that type of stuff is the big value of pre-tours, any type of tours, and these committees where you make those networking relationships.
That is a good point, because a lot of the non-tenure places now are starting to ask for external reviewers. And this is a great way to meet friends.
Yes, and the positive news, I just got my letter while we were on this meeting, so I'm done.
Congratulations.
It must have been that letter from Cindy Lauderdale.
That's right, it's all Cindy's letter.
Great. Thank you for that. Anything else anybody wants to share? Concerns, board actions, things that you would like to see that haven't already been expressed? I will just say, Shelley, thank you. Patrick has been great to us. And please make sure that you share that with him in getting our pre-tour set. We do have 2 great days in Montana, starting in Bozeman and ending in Billings. So he was very instrumental of getting us to the right places and the right people. And we really appreciate all of Montana's efforts on that.
Will do. We're looking forward to having you here in Montana, and we're so excited about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you would like to share from Montana?
Just that we're really excited to host. It's a once in a lifetime kind of thing. We last hosted in 1982, and they had 1,450 people come in 1982. So if they can do it then, we can do it now. So we're
Do you know your numbers right now?
Yeah, we're at over 1,200 now, and we still are open until June 15th. So it's a little scary, but exciting as well. It's going to be great. It'll be different, but it'll be great.
And I will say that at least for the Lauderdales, we're coming early and we're staying late. And so I think a lot of people are maybe just coming early or just staying late, but we're doing both.
Sounds good.
So we're excited to be there with you.
Great. Happy to have you. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends in Maryland who are already planning on going to Glacier Lake.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Well, that was one thing. At first, Danny and I were not going to go up to Glacier, but I said, well, Danny, we're probably only doing it once. And he's like, I don't know why you always say you're only going every place one time. And I was like, well, do you remember you wanted to go there for our honeymoon? That was 30 years ago, and we haven't been there yet. So at that rate, I'm not going to get back there. So let's just do it. Okay. I will just mention, and I am going to send this out to the horticulture, those who have already registered for the pre-tour, but I will just talk a few minutes about the pre-tour. But if something comes to your mind, just go ahead and jump in. But the pre-tour starts Friday, June 27th. I don't know about the rest of you from the East Coast, but for some reason we will get into Montana like at 10:30 in the morning on Thursday. So we get there pretty early. So I'll probably send something out if you want to do dinner Thursday night. Maybe we can go someplace that's close to the hotel. We'll talk about that. But Friday morning, we will leave the motel at 8 in the morning, and we're going to spend the entire first day pretty much on the campus in Bozeman at MSU. So we start at the Hort Farm for about an hour and a half. We get back on the bus and then do a tree walk through campus. They're going to focus on native trees, and that tree walk will end at the MSU dining hall, where I think there's like 10 different like little restaurants within there. And I will be like the mother hen and I'll pay for everybody. Then we will walk. Probably it would be the easiest to walk to the Buffalo Nation's food systems, which is some gardens, and learn about the heritage there. We will then go to the museum. We will walk to the Museum of the Rockies. Outside, they have a water-wise garden, and then that should last about an hour, maybe a little less. And then after that, we will have free time inside the museum until we get on the bus and go to Montana Ale Works for dinner. And that also is provided as part of the tour. Then on Saturday, um, it says right now we're leaving at 8:05, but I'll just say we're leaving at 8 o'clock in the morning from the motel, and we will then be loading the bus because we will be going from Bozeman's to Billings. So we'll load the bus up. We will stop at Ketchman Nursery, which I believe is more of a retail location. And then we will go to Blake Nursery, which may be retail, but also maybe a little more wholesale. Get back on the bus, stop very quickly at the Prairie Dog Town State Park. Our lunch is at Gray Cliff Mills, and they also are providing a tour. Then we have a little bit of a bus ride, maybe about an hour and a half or so to get to Chief Plenty's State Park. Then we are there for about an hour. Then it will take about an hour to get in Billings. We will check in our motels around 6. The idea here is that bus is going to drop off at those conference hotels, so the Northern and the Doubletree. So if you are in an outlier hotel, I'm not really sure how that will work. I think you might have to Uber there or something. And then hopefully you are at one of the main hotels, because then we are going to walk to dinner, which is called Stack Montana Grill. And Shelley adds that Blake Nursery is fabulous and has lots of native Montana plants. So that seems great. Okay. Anything else anybody wants to add? Oh, they have some shuttles. Will those shuttles be available on Saturday or starting Sunday, Shelley?
That would be Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening.
Yeah. So we will get in on Saturday night. So we'll figure it out, or they will figure it out. Okay, well, I think that's all I have. If somebody else has something, I know that Tyrone from NC State is running for vice director position. I don't know if this is appropriate to allow him to speak, but just remember Tyrone, and if you would like to say a few words, Tyrone, you may.
I've been here with committees, taking
you were cutting out a little bit, but I think you were saying thank you for giving you the opportunity, and we are good with that. Mike is asking about how we know which hotel we're staying at. So I've gotten confirmation, Mike, that I'm in the DoubleTree. So Shelley says, yeah, you should have gotten a confirmation. Now I got something directly from the DoubleTree, not from Scott Hallbaker. I don't know if you're in the Northern or something like that, if they've sent it out or not. Heather's gotten something from the Best Western. Any of you staying in the Northern, have you gotten? Okay, Victoria has gotten something from the DoubleTree. Andy is staying at the Northern and he has gotten confirmation. So, Mike, I would say, and I know that you've been registered for a while, right? Yeah. So I would say reach out to Scott for him to
Cindy,
check and see where that
Scott
is.
put in the chat, his confirmations are coming out before June 1st.
Okay, sorry, I missed that one.
And also related to pre-tour, we can discuss this and make a plan and send something out to see who might be interested for our night in Bozeman, the first night when we arrive for dinner. I had not looked at it before, but I just looked. Probably our best option within walking distance is Outback Steakhouse, which is right across the parking lot from the Come On In. It looks like the only other options are like within walking distance is Taco Bell and Five Guys, and there might have been a sub place. So
Well, those fries at Five Guys, that might be, I think Katie's all over that.
probably so.
And Katie, we have not ate a potato until tonight. We're going to have potatoes. I have had a lot of rice since getting home from Ireland.
We
So
haven't had any mushy peas either.
no, we have had fresh peas, but not mushy. So anyway, there were a lot of potato dishes. Lasagna came with French fries. My seafood casserole that was topped with mashed potatoes also came with French fries. There was a lot of fries in our life. But anyway. Okay.
Cindy, I have a question. After the buses drop the folks off at the two major hotels, are they staying in Billings or are they going back to Boston?
Yeah, they are based out of Bozeman or Bosman or however you say it. I've been maybe saying it wrong the entire time, but I assume that they're going to probably be driving back.
Well, I was going to say on the way back, could they drop the people off at the other hotels?
I don't know about that because I have to have
Her
their
contract is
mileage and
based
agenda and
on,
everything by June 13th.
Oh, the contract, I got it.
So if maybe I should, when I email again, I'll ask what hotels there are. If it would be like one other hotel, maybe, but there's no way they're going to stop at 10 different places.
Right. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah. But that is a good question to ask. Okay, well, hearing nothing else, if I think we have committed to what we need to. There's a Montana rib and chop, Shelley says. And if it's not too far, we could just Uber to someplace. So Danny loves looking up restaurants for me.
It's within the easy walking distance.
Okay.
We eat there when we're there for annual conference.
Okay. And that's different than the ale house. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That sounds good. Danny, you're muted now.
Yeah, I see it now, and I'd rather do that than Outback because we all have an Outback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Many of us have an Outback.
so Danny, if you'll just also maybe just call them and see, if they could it, take reservations or, how that all works, that would be great too.
Yep, I can do that. And related to comments earlier about um maybe doing something on Sunday, and I haven't looked at the whole schedule, what's going on Sunday afternoon beforehand. And related to Mike's interest, I saw that there is a brewery like 1 minute walk from the Northern and 3 minute walk uh,
Okay, we're there. Do
from
they
the
open at 10?
DoubleTree,
Do
so
they
we
open
could
at
do
10
that.
a.m.?
Probably
How
in
early do they
Montana.
open?
You just can't serve alcohol before 8 o'clock in the morning. So
Okay, so 10 a.m. is good. Okay. Very good. Okay, well, I thank you all for being on here. If you haven't expressed something that you would like to express, feel free to reach out to myself or to your region chair. We are open for any suggestions. We want this committee to work for you. So thank you very much. Have a great holiday weekend.
Hi, everyone.